keeps people safe. So the media is already touting this as being an act of terrorism. There are newspapers all over the world saying terror has arrived here in Canada. Meanwhile, we don't even have all the facts in on this guy yet, but unfortunately, the damage is done with headlines like that. It conditions the minds of the masses and the Canadian people to believe that there is a terrorist threat, and meanwhile, we don't even know if this is true yet or not.
Expanding on that, sometimes they have drills where they get somebody and then claim they're a Muslim convert and set them up like 7/7. We know that was a false flag. That's even come out, and I've had retired intelligence officers from England on about it. So we know they do this. And the Royal Mounted Police got caught. We wrote an article about it yesterday. They were all wearing the same boots, attacking police as a pretext to then attack the anti-WTO people and others. So we know this stuff goes on, but it could be some crazy, person. But I agree with you. The response, give up your rights, you'll be safe. I mean, that they were barricading stuff hours after he was dead, just the panicking, the checkpoints, the guy strutting around behind you right now, kind of keeping an eye on you because you look so dangerous. I mean, how about they stop just letting all these people fly in unfettered? See, that's my issue. If you're going to have open immigration, do it. But then don't take everybody's rights acting like internally you can set up checkpoints randomly when the main borders are open. It's clearly a power grab. Look at our government funding ISIS. I wonder how the Syrians, like 300,000 people getting murdered the last 4 years by Western-backed jihadis that this guy, they claim, was connected to. I mean, what's going to happen when ISIS does come over here and blow up schools or attack police stations? I'm not giving my rights up, because they use Stinger missiles to blow planes out of the sky that our government gave them, Dan.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex, they've been conditioning us to be afraid and to accept these draconian measures. I put together a video called Conditioning Canadians on the War on Terror. And if people want to see that, it's available at pressfortruth.ca. And in it, we extensively document over the last 6 or 7 years all the various amounts of conditioning and setups that CSIS, the Canadian Security and Intelligence Service, and the CMP have been involved in, when sometimes it may just be coercing an informant, kind of setting these guys up and incubating them and allowing some sort of attack to happen once they have become radicalized through the intelligence communities. So we documented that extensively, and how over the last 6 years, there's been heavy conditioning here in Canada to basically, as soon as something happens here, the first thing everybody thinks is terrorists. It must be terrorists. And they've been setting this up for quite some time now, trying to link these guys with the Islamic State, ISIS. As you may know, Stephen Harper recently sent a whole fleet of F-18 fighter jets.
That's right, and ISIS said they would then attack Canada. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. So now, as you said, is this a case of retaliation? Is this a rogue nut? Is this an all-out false flag, which it very well could be as well? Remains to be seen. But again, we simply just can't rush into bombing other countries and removing all the rights of the Canadian people here because of this tragic incident. So
well, I mean, in the old days, there's a couple people got shot. They'd find out to do responsible and bring them to justice. Everybody wouldn't roll around in total fear. They used to send one Texas Ranger to take on like 100 people, and they'd say, why they only send one? Well, that's because all we need to get into this mode of just guys with machine guns everywhere running around hysterical like a beehive when only 2 people got killed. It just looks like total drama queen behavior and looks pretty cowardly to me. And again, I'm just saying, compared to the way people used to act anywhere, this is not how you project strength, is the barricading, the freaking out, the hyperventilating. It looked like the Ayatollah Khomeini walked by earlier. Who were those folks? Did you see those guys look like Iranians?
Yeah, a number of people are still here. If you want, I can walk you through here and give you a bit of a look at what the scene really is like here. I mean, there is a lot of media around right now doing interviews. This is pretty much the front of the gate. This is the memorial that is just being set up for the fallen soldiers. So people have been coming here all day today, paying their respects, and a lot of media, a lot of other kind of groups here. Yeah, those guys, though, I'm not sure. They just walked up, but as soon as I'm done here. I'm going to try to interview some of those guys. So
well, it is a tragedy for the soldier. He's just sitting there on honor guard. Somebody walks up and shoots him repeatedly. And I've just seen a lot of witnesses that say they saw it. It looked pretty credible. It could be a false flag, or like you said, he could be, you know, it's that FBI tactic, even the New York Times reported on, out of 100 bombing plots in the U.S., turned out 97, I think, were, you know, hatched by the FBI, if you read the report. This is a very dangerous precedent, and so I just don't think we can trust what we're being told.
Well, you know, Alex, it's come out that the soldier was armed with the gun, but it turns out the gun is not loaded, and they never are. And of course, this is going to bring up. Of course it is. What's the point of having a soldier on guard if he is not armed? And of course, we don't know yet what kind of a weapon, or all we know is this was a long gun that was used.
Yeah, there is no way. It looks like a 243 or a 30-30 or something, but. Continuing here, imagine being on guard duty at a parliament and you don't have a loaded gun. I mean, it's a major target.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous. And I mean, why government has all this police state and they can't protect the parliament? I mean, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, apparently this guy walks up to the soldier and he shoots him. He then manages to make his way a great deal. I can show you. Here is the monument, and Parliament building is all the way over there. And
it's like 300 yards. I've been there. It's about 300 yards.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah. And he managed to go from there into the Parliament building, where there are security checks to get by. There are metal detectors. There are security guards you got to get by. Yeah, so he managed to get.
Why was it the sergeant of arms that shot him? I mean, that the sergeant in arms out of probably 100 security people would be the person to shoot him. I mean, maybe the security isn't allowed to have guns.
Yeah, well, I do know that none of the footage inside of there actually has any clips of this guy. They can't seem to find them, any video of
that.
Him.
Sounds suspicious. Dan Dix, stay there. We're going to do some overdrive to talk to Jeff. Frank is a physician, and Ben. This is a very important transmission today. Stay with us.
I'm watching and waiting for the right time to take everything you own. I love a dark house.
Don't be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone is inside watching TV and makes your home unappealing to would-be thieves.
Don't these people ever leave?
Starting at $24.95, and there's free shipping. Go to faketv.com or ask for it at your local hardware store. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
With all the chaos in the news today about riots, financial bubbles, and pandemics, the time is now to stock up on your survival kits, emergency food, and water purification systems at endtimeswarehouse.com. Go there now and save big on Nascent Iodine, which usually sells for $29.99, now only $24.99. Find everything you need to be prepared at endtimeswarehouse.com. Preparedness for the end times, or anytime. EndTimesWarehouse.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Quite some time I've been sitting it out. Didn't take no chances. Was a prisoner of doubt. I knocked on the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether it's Silver Bullet, Colloidal Silver, or Survival Shield Super Nascent Iodine X2, we have the highest quality known systems out there that I believe from the research we've done, and I personally have experienced it, boost my health and well-being and bolsters my natural defenses. Oxy Powder, DNA Force, Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality. It's all available at InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And the DNA Force has nutraceutical level, Bio-PQQ, CoQ10, and a bunch of other things. That, I mean, just one of these ingredients is equivalent, the group was saying, and he showed me the equations, of 500 little crates of blueberries. So it's beyond vitamin C. It's just amazing. We can even make claims on it that are on the site because it's patented. A bunch of the ingredients are patented and have literally hundreds of studies behind them. Go watch the informational videos. Read about DNA Force at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And again, your purchase of the Molon Labe T-shirts, the books, the films, all of it funds our operation so we can fearlessly try to break down the latest. Oh, there's a new camouflage Molon Labe shirt in that I think gives the others a run for their money. Long sleeve for the winter. And I'm going to be wearing mine. In fact, they just came in today. I noticed it's up on the site. I couldn't wait till this came in. It's got that high-tech camo pattern to it. So InfoWarsStore.com or MadeIn1776.com or 888-253-3139. Dan Dix of PressForTruth.ca or .tv is our guest. A lot of his films are on his site. I'm going to go into some overdrive and talk to Frank, who's in California, a physician, Jeff, a firefighter, and an envirotech specialist. Appreciate you guys holding. But in a few minutes we've got left, Dan, I want to invite you on the Nightly News there, if they can tape some of that with you for later tonight so you can expand on the amazing reporting you're doing. But in the few minutes we've got left, other points you'd like to make from the scene of the battle for Ottawa, as it's being called, greater than the Nazi blitz on London. Everyone rolling around on the ground in fear, begging for Big Brother to watch everything they do to keep them safe from ISIS that the Canadian government's been part of arming.
Well, Alex, I would just beg people not to fear their governments, not to fear this Islamic State, and to realize that this is indeed about getting us into going along with some of these plans that they have for Canadians. So I just want to encourage Canadians to remember that we just can't simply just jump all over this and listen to what the mainstream media is reporting, because they're doing a very shoddy job, I must say. So that's why we just decided to come down here and get on the grounds and try to get to the bottom of what's going on. If this does indeed turn out to be a false flag, if we find out this guy was on SSRI drugs or he was involved in the military, all these things will come out. But remember, they're already calling it terrorism. Do not be afraid of terrorism here in Canada. And if it does, always remember, folks, that suspect number one is definitely the state.
Because that's who stands to gain in the power grab and who's been caught doing it over and over again. And I love how they were aiming guns at reporters yesterday and saying, don't report. And there's a security guard or cop keeps walking around giving you the eye. I mean, because you're just so suspicious, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're sometimes perhaps considered the enemy in these types of environments. So I'll have to be careful out here, Alex.
Now, is the Parliament is a beautiful neo-Gothic construction built, I guess, about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I spent hours looking at it when I was there a few years ago.
I got video. I remember you and I walked around just discussing all the occult symbolism on that building. I have videos of that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/weavingspider. And it's back in 2006 now, quite some time ago. But you and I.
Dan, we got to have you back on the nightly news. Yeah, it's just so occultic. They meant to do weird rituals in there. I was going to ask, are you able to get near the building?
Visit
This is as close as I can
GCNlive.com
get right
today.
now.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. We'll come back in overdrive. Thanks.
Another